Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea. And welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure, where we chronicle some 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
It's a big adventure, y'all.
And we've reached episode 5, and we are nearly 4 weeks into this adventure now.
Right, we should have like 7 episodes by now, but we do not. We do not.
I don't think so. I think we're doing great.
Okay.
And so today's episode is going to be the school episode, which you might have noticed by our title. Yo, sound the bell, school's in. Happens to be a reference to something that Gen Xers might know. MC Hammer. You can't touch this.
I needed help with that because I was like, what? What's he talking about? Anyway, he's very proud of his reference, and Nick will always be very proud of any old school hip hop reference. And actually, don't come at us calling that old school hip hop because I am sure that other people would say that is not old school hip hop.
Hey, it's what it is. It's something Gen Xers appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. So also we want to plug our Instagram page, which is Nick Chels Gen Excellent Adventure, but you could also just type in the full name of the podcast because that's the name of it, but the handle is Nick Chels Gen Excellent Adventure. So we're putting other stuff over on there, and a lot of it is just us talking to the camera.
But it's all unique. I mean, This is stuff that you aren't necessarily getting from the podcast, so it's worth checking it out. I mean, you're going to get some things that you're not hearing here. So go ahead and give it a look. We think we're having fun doing it.
Oh my gosh. Are we content creators?
I guess officially we are now.
That's so funny. Okay. Anyway, yes. So this is about school because both me and T have made it through our first week. My first official school day, as in student started, was on Tuesday, and T's first day was on Wednesday. So orientation for my students was Monday, school started Tuesday. T's the orientation was Tuesday, his school day, which is KG2, which is the same as kindergarten, was Wednesday.
And for reference, we're on the weekend now. So
yeah, it's Sunday now.
So it's been 3 days for T and 4 for you.
Mm-hmm. But really, students for me started coming on Monday. So I started seeing them and families on Monday. So it kind of feels like it was a full week.
Okay, so as a new high school counselor here at your school, what would you say have been your kind of first experience has been like there at the school?
A little overwhelming. There are just so many students waiting to see counselors. So learning a lot about how to navigate that. But I've got some amazing team members who are guiding me, helping me, there for the questions, and being so patient with me. So I would say overall, like, it was tough, but it was also okay. And yeah, there's a lot for me to learn. It's very, very different than how we did it at public school in the States. But also some of it's very similar.
One thing you had said before we even came here is that you anticipated, because it's a private school, that it was going to be a little more work than what you were used to. Have you found that is the case?
Different kind of work. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I want to say more right now, yes, because of the way it's just different. It's just different. I don't anticipate it will feel like more all of the time. I mean, it was incredibly busy at home too. It's just different ways, different structure. But also some things are always the same. So, you do well-being, you do graduation stuff, you do scheduling, you think about the future. All of those things are happening at this school, and all of those things are happening at every school I've worked at.
Well, and as I think we mentioned in maybe the first episode, in this school, you're doing basically the exact same role as what you were doing back in the States, whereas a lot of the international schools kind of had it more broken down into very specific areas.
Right, exactly. And because my school also has an individual well-being counselor, we have support in that area, and we will partner a lot, and that's really, really nice. And not all schools have that kind of partnership, because they often have one well-being counselor, and all the other counselors might just be university, but we do it together. So I really appreciate that.
Okay, so your experience is going.
It's going.
As far as T, he is also getting some new stuff because he's at a private school.
Yep.
I mean, the first thing would be is that he has a uniform.
Oh my gosh. And he's so cute. So cute in it.
So the uniforms that they have at this school, they aren't like what you would see, for example, at a Catholic school back in the States.
No.
In fact, it's very
For a
informal
Catholic, yeah.
for a uniform. I mean, his uniform is a red polo shirt, collared polo shirt.
Yes.
And navy shorts.
Yes, because shorts, obviously,
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah.
And then they have to wear white shoes or black shoes.
Yes.
And they can wear white socks, black socks, or navy socks. And then you have to go and get these things at a particular store that sells, well, you don't have to get the shoes or socks there, but everything else has to be purchased at the store that sells your school's things. And there's a couple different stores that do that.
Right. And well, when we first set this up, we made an appointment. They were actually doing a pop-up store at the school.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to make this really very convenient, especially
Yes.
given that both you and he were at the school.
Yes.
And then it turned out one part of the uniform is they have swim lessons.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the really appealing things for us about this school, is that T is going to be getting weekly swim lessons once this gets up and going.
Yeah, and if you're a parent and you've tried to get swim lessons in Seattle, you understand. You understand why this is so exciting.
But at the pop-up, they did not have the swimsuits.
Yeah, so then we ended up having to make another appointment for the store anyway, and lesson learned, we'll just go to the store next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had to get swim trunks in addition, and then he had to get a jacket for colder weather and
hoodie.
or AC.
Yeah, it's school hoodie.
It was either that or a pullover, and you know me, I'm not getting my kid a pullover. No, thank you. So we did the hoodie. It's pretty cute, actually.
Surprisingly thick hoodie,
Yeah.
given how
Yeah.
warm it is here.
Yeah.
I mean, felt that, and I'm like, is he really going to ever need that?
But depending on your room, it can get really cold inside. So, I mean, I need a space heater. So,
How wrong is that?
I know, it's so
That
funny.
You're going to need a space heater for your
I
office.
know. I was thankful because this week in the room I was working in, we were kind of teamed in there. The counselors were, and one of the counselors brought in her space heater. I was like, yes, I need to get one. Anyway.
So for 4 days a week, T is going to be wearing his uniform.
Yeah.
And then on Fridays, they have something called tribes.
Yeah.
Which, what happens is the whole elementary school is kind of split into 6 different tribes that each have its own color. And it's the whole school. So you are in a tribe with people from all the different grades. I think teachers and teachers' assistants are part of this too. And
Yeah.
on Friday, you are supposed to wear your tribe t-shirt.
Yes.
And-
It's more of it's sort of a t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a little more substantial than that. But your tribe shirt.
Yeah.
And T is part of the green tribe, which is the Vipers.
Yes, and he is so excited. He's been all weekend long because they learned about hissing as a viper on Friday. So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that I don't know if we mentioned this before, but Friday is Tribes Day, but Friday is also a short day. Mm-hmm. And so short days are my new favorite thing.
Yeah, and this is every Friday. Mm-hmm. And you can explain as to why that is.
Yeah, I can explain. I think, hopefully I get this right. So once upon a time in Dubai and the whole UAE, the work and school week was Sunday through Thursday to honor the Muslim worship schedule, of course. And then as Dubai in particular grew into, and Abu Dhabi, into really a business-oriented city and a financial services city, they couldn't maintain that calendar, that schedule, because it didn't work with the financial services industry across the world. And they really are a hub for that now. So they had to switch to Monday to Friday. But then a couple of years ago, they decided to roll Fridays into half days. So I think government organizations and schools are now on the half day Friday schedule to accommodate, again, the worship mosque schedule. So, and I've talked to a couple people who are Muslim, and they are running from school to go to the mosque, trying to get there in time. But it is working.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then the rest of us who are not Muslim are just really, really thankful for a short day.
But to make clear, so mosque is on Friday afternoons, is that correct?
Well, I think Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should not try to answer that question, but I know at least Fridays, and I think Saturdays as well. And I'm thinking about that from home because a lot of my Muslim students were there on Saturdays. Anyway.
But we can get back to T.
Yep.
So this is his first real school experience.
Right. He did outdoor preschool, which was not a pre-K.
And that was one of the things that coming here, we were actually a little surprised. At this school, they have something called KG1 and KG2. And KG1 is basically pre-K.
Yeah.
And KG2 is full out kindergarten.
Yeah.
And we were kind of expecting him to get placed in KG1.
Yeah.
We had to actually sort of have a little what was it? Like not tryout.
It's like an assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we did some videos and T had to do some things like tell a story and do some writing.
Write his name, and which he can do, but he can't really write a lot of other things.
And identify some shapes and so forth.
And draw a picture and explain the picture.
And given that he's a pretty late birth date for his year.
Yeah.
We kind of were like, oh, he'll probably get placed into KG2 in what is KG1 in what is a pretty competitive school, which would be okay. Would have been okay with us.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he tested into KG2.
And the fact of the matter is, he is very social and very verbal, and KG2 is appropriate for that reason. Hopefully he will catch up with the rest. But we were really excited because once school started, we found out, or you found out at the orientation. I was working, I couldn't go to the orientation, but they spend the first 2 weeks doing zero academic learning.
Yeah.
And that felt really, really nice, and a really good place for him to be. He's also in a class with a teacher who's been there for 20 years and is the head of the department. Like for someone who's never had any kind of formal learning, this is really like a good situation. I think she knows how to deal with everything.
Yeah.
She's skilled. She's an expert. Yeah.
So, but they have recess, but they're not really doing recess outside yet because it's too hot. They actually have it can't get above, or it has to be below a certain temperature for them to be able to do outdoor recess.
Yeah.
So they've got some indoor play areas there.
Yeah.
But it won't. I was told like in September, they're going to get down to where they can go outside, and so they actually have like baseball caps that are part of their uniform too.
Yeah.
So they keep that there at the school, and you wear that during recess to help protect you from the sun.
Yeah.
So he's going to get his recess, which is good. That was important. And also, there's kind of a little amusing story that happened from this week. So one of the things they're having all the students do is kind of a little show and tell thing. They sent home a small paper bag with some suggestions of things to bring in that would kind of represent who you are and that you could share with the rest of the class. So it's like, can you bring in a photo or draw a picture of yourself as a baby?
Yeah.
Something of your family, maybe bring a favorite toy or a favorite treat, those type of things. We are still working on that. They told us to do what you can in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So we're not behind on that or anything, and we're going to get that done.
We don't have a color printer. We don't have a printer. So we're like, how are we going to print these things?
But apparently somebody did send their child in with their things on Thursday. The thing is that the teacher thought it might have been T. It wasn't. But no other kid claimed this.
It wasn't
so
labeled.
when the teacher asked T if it was his, first he said no. But when no other students claimed it, he said, yeah, it is mine. And apparently he got up in front of the class and did a whole show and tell with this bag of things that were somebody else's. Apparently pulled it off enough that the teacher was not certain when I went to the open house that afternoon. And and it turned out to be a little bit of a challenge to get him to give those back up.
Oh my gosh.
Because he sort of was taking ownership of it after that.
Oh my gosh.
So, nice little amusing story there for the first week of school for T.
Our little extrovert. Oh, I'll do the presentation. Oh my gosh.
The other thing that's really been real obvious about the school. So we live right across the street. We're on the 9th floor of the apartment building, and so we can see. I can actually see you guys walking in. I can watch you guys go out the door, go over to the window, and I can see them get to the door and walk in the gate.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on there. And one of the crazy things is seeing just how bad the traffic is in the morning and the afternoon.
Yep.
I don't know how people do it. I mean, it is like dead stop. I mean, there's a 2-lane road coming into the school, and then there's a 2-lane road through the parking lot that's right there in front of the school, and both of those will be at a dead stop.
Yeah.
And you see cars as far as you can, and they have people in the parking lot, security officers who are moving people along or doing the best they can to move people along. You hear the whistles, you hear people honking.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear all of that from up here in the 9th floor just fine.
Yeah.
And it's made me think about how the fact we originally were placed in housing that was 20, 30 minutes away
In the mornings.
and just what an ordeal this would be if we were not able to just walk across the street.
Yeah, and people who live 10 minutes away, because there's some massive construction going on right now that we didn't know was going to happen, they're rerouting roads and entrances and exits, and people who live 10 minutes away are driving an hour to get here. So could not be more grateful that when I requested to be closer, they granted that. As much as it would be nice to be in that newer, more spacious apartment with lots of family-friendly things, we're good. We're okay. We've got a pool. It's good.
Well, and I think about the fact that you have some early meetings, in which case, I mean, you usually take T over and you're able to go ahead and get him to his class at the right time. But when you have an early meeting, you can't really do that.
Right. Like I had to ask Nick to take him tomorrow. And thankfully, because Nick is like flexible with his schedule right now, then he could do that. But yeah, this would be really tricky if we were living farther away and we only have one car that we're renting and so forth. So we're thankful for where we are and sorry for all the people having to deal with that commute.
Yeah. Kind of going back to the Fridays thing. I mean, the half days aren't the only thing that you kind of have a little break from the school schedule. There are also a lot of extra holidays.
Yeah, there's a lot of Islamic holidays. It doesn't end up being a ton more days off than at home. In fact, it might even be slightly fewer days off, but it's chunked differently. And so it does feel like there's more, but there's not, because we're going till July 3rd this year. So that we get 4 weeks off, December into January. So that's really nice. We get 2 weeks of spring break. We're getting a little midterm break in October, another term break in February. And yeah, there's just kind of these holidays associated with Muslim holidays that are what I'm not used to having at home, but it makes these little breaks kind of nice.
So when is your first holiday day?
This Friday! Woohoo! I'm so excited.
And one of the interesting things about it, do you know exactly what the holiday is?
It's a birthday of a prophet.
But we did not know what day this was going to be.
Yeah, it was going to be either the 4th or the 5th, so either Thursday or Friday, depending on if they could see the moon on a particular day. I don't totally understand it, but I also have not lived here very long, so maybe I'll understand it more next year. But yeah, it was based on the sighting of the moon and what day the prophet's birthday would end up being.
And we only found out what the day was going to be this week.
Yeah.
So it's not like you got a
last
lot
week.
of...
Yeah.
Well,
end of the week.
Right. So it's not like there's a lot of ahead time to kind of figure out, are we off on Thursday or are we off on Friday?
Yeah.
So yeah, just an interesting little difference with how things are done here than they are back in Seattle.
Yeah, my immediate desire was, let's go to a hotel for the weekend. And then I was like, oh, no. Let's just do nothing. I'm tired.
All right, so I think anything else you want to mention about this first week of school?
The one thing I will say that we haven't already mentioned is that you hear a lot from other parents about the start of kindergarten and how it can be really challenging for the kid on their first couple days or even first couple weeks, depending. And I will say that our kid was a champ and was so happy when I picked him up. And also, it was really hard. Yeah. Those things did show up, but what people talk about did show up that night, and even over the weekend off and on, but I still know he loved it. It's both. We're trying to make sure he's well fed, that he's getting enough sleep, and that he knows that we've got him and we love him. And so there have been lots of hugs and lots of comments about that. But yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster. The start of school, the start of formalized school, for sure.
I can't imagine what it's like having that happen after such a big change.
For him.
Moving across the world. I mean, he's really going through a lot, and he's handling it. I mean, it's a challenge for him, but he's handling it.
Yeah, he's doing great. We're like, okay, well, we're going to uproot you from everything you know and love, place, people, all of the above. And then we're going to also have you do childcare for 2 weeks. And then we're going to take you out of that and put you in school. Yay! So sorry, thanks. No, he's doing amazing.
Okay, so that's sort of where things stand as far as school goes.
Oh, I'm going to say one more thing.
Oh, never mind.
Also, I really love walking to school with T, and I really love that he gets to come up to my office and he gets to kind of see he's learning school and showing me around sometimes.
Right.
And that's really cute and awesome, and it just makes it a little bit more family-like, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, when I went to get him at the end of the school day on Thursday, he showed me where your office was.
Yes, he knew.
Which was up 4 flights of stairs and through a door down a hallway. I mean, he's got the lay of the land.
He'd only been there 2 times, and he already figured that out. Yeah.
So there's where we are with school. Let's move on to the other subject we're going to deal with. And we teased this in the last episode, but we are going to talk about that ever exciting subject of
laundry.
Yeah.
Yep. We're not going to talk about it as long as we talked about school, because that would be really boring. But basically, when you come from the States, you're used to a dryer. We knew that. This is not, anybody who's traveled in Europe or probably anywhere besides the States and Canada knows there aren't dryers everywhere. We have traveled in Europe a little bit with dryers, but more often than not, they don't have dryers, or the dryers don't work very well. And they're very small washers, or at least at Airbnbs and stuff, and also true in this apartment.
Yes, and as far as I can tell, I mean, the smaller washer and the no dryer, I think that's pretty typical here. I don't think it's just because we happen to be in this particular.
I think it's all apartments, and maybe, I don't know what houses are like, but definitely all apartments.
And what that means is that we're going backwards. We have a drying rack now.
We have a drying rack,
and it's out on our deck.
Actually, we had a built-in drying rack in Seattle, because when we remodeled our basement, or part of the basement, several years ago, we turned the laundry room into a more functional space, and our amazing contractor created this beautiful very functional drying rack at my request. And you know what? It was awesome. And we had a utility sink. And we're old and used to our ways, and now we don't have those beautiful things anymore.
Right. Well, as Gen Xers, we're kind of at the stage of life where we're expecting things to be getting less labor intensive.
Yeah.
As time goes by, because we're getting to an age where we kind of need that.
Yeah.
So it's been.
I
won't call it a shock to the system, but it's just been a little eye opener to be going back to things being more labor intensive.
Yeah, I mean we all know it's good for you to have change. Everybody needs change. You got to shake it up. You got to learn how to do things differently. Keep your brain and body moving in different directions. And just like forcing you to think outside your normal little box. So that's what we're having to do. I mean, with laundry.
Well, and then there's some interesting things that go along with having the drying rack out on our deck.
Yeah.
First of all, of course, it's very, very hot out there.
It's a very small deck, too.
Well, I mean, the heat means that, number one, it is going to dry faster.
Yeah.
The laundry does dry faster, except on days where it's super humid.
Yeah.
But number two, we have to be aware of when the dust storms are coming.
Yeah, well, can we be aware of that?
Well, I mean, my weather app told me the wind was coming.
As I mentioned on Instagram page, I stopped looking at the weather, like, unless I just am curious because I am taking a walk. But most of the time, I'm not looking at it.
But you don't necessarily want to have clean laundry out there on the drying rack on the deck when the dust storm comes in.
Also, you don't want to have you don't want to put your clean laundry out after a dust storm if you haven't washed the rack off, which I learned
the hard way. Yeah.
Yes.
There have been some. We had some white towels that were part of us moving in, and some white linens.
Yeah.
And some of those have some nice dusty brown streaks on them right now from being out on the drying rack.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I'm going to wash out the next time.
But I didn't know that.
But it's like, I mean, that's a nice little reminder that, hey, wipe that drying rack down on a regular basis so that your laundry will not get dirty right after it got clean.
Something that everyone should understand about our relationship is that Nick does the laundry. Not my laundry, because I don't want anyone to do my laundry, but he does T's laundry, his laundry, the house laundry. Thank you, babe, for that. Also helpful because he worked from home before and now he is exploring his opportunities, which includes doing the laundry. So he's really getting the hang of our drying rack and all of the things we've purchased for the drying rack. You have to get like a laundry basket to carry your laundry back and forth from the washer to the deck. You need to get clothespins so they don't blow off when you have crazy wind and all those things that we were like, we don't need that. Oh, we do.
Well, and one thing that's nice is you look out the deck, and we are certainly not the only ones here who have a big drying rack out on their deck. Yeah. We can see the other building. There are 2 towers that are a part of this apartment complex, so we're facing people who have the mirror image apartments of what we have, and I would say every other deck on that building has a laundry rack of some sort on it.
And I'm looking at the one right across from us, and they do not have one, and I'm like, do they dry that inside? I guess that's like more appropriate, maybe.
But I don't know how you would do it.
It would take so much longer in the cold, in the AC.
The air conditioning is turned up, and unless you're turning off your air conditioning, which I don't know that anybody does.
And it gets sticky and humid.
It would take forever, and you need a lot of space. I mean, where are you going to hang up the sheets in here, for example?
Yeah, I don't know. It is, maybe people have like created. I was originally going to have us to have 2 drying racks, one for inside and one for outside. But because I was thinking, we'll need both, but we don't because the washer's too small.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way. Anyway, thus the laundry. Yeah. Moving on. Okay. It's time for our Excellents and Boguses, or as Nick likes to say,
Excellent Bogus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this, of course, is our recurring segment that we are, it's kind of as a nod to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the movie, another wonderful Gen X thing.
Excellent Gen X thing.
And It's where we each give one excellent, which is a good thing that happened during the last period since our last episode, which in this case is a week. So an excellent from the week, and a bogus, which can be something which is not so good, or maybe it's unfortunate, or maybe it was weird.
They know what bogus means.
Just something like that. Just making sure. I'm a newspaper writer.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta
journalist
spell
at
everything
heart.
out.
Yep.
In case there's somebody who hasn't heard the podcast before. So.
Oh, okay, good point.
So anyway, let's start off with our excellence of the week. What is your excellent from this past week?
Okay, well, my excellent is going to be based on tonight and the last few Sundays, or I think one Monday, where I have gone walking with my friend down the road who takes regular walks in the dark. And she was doing that by herself and does do that by herself. And now I get to join her once a week, and I am so grateful for it. Anyway, the big thing about that walk, that's one part of the excellent, is just taking that walk once a week with a friend. I love that. The other part of it is that women can walk safely at night here. I mean, find me a woman who feels that way at home, at least if you're not in a crowded area. I mean, I would, even though I loved our neighborhood, I would never go walking at night by myself there. Maybe if I was walking a dog, which we did not have. But even then, I don't know. You know, like, it's just not something I would do. In New York City, okay, sure, because there's lots of people around. But if in these quieter neighborhoods, whether it's a suburb or a city, no way. And we don't live in a super busy neighborhood. So when we're taking walks here in Dubai, we are not like passing a million people or cars, you know, and it's safe. And I'm still not used to it. I still feel like I need to be looking behind me, even though we do this every week. Although I am following her lead. She knows this area a lot better, and I'm just kind of like, wherever you want to go, I'm following. So I'm doing a little less than I was of looking behind me, but on my way to meet her, which is not very far at all, it's like less than 5 minutes, I'm like, is there anybody around? Is there anybody around? This is weird. But no, it's really, Dubai is known to be extremely safe, and it truly, truly is. And so it is nice to be a woman in this area and not feel like I have to look behind me the whole time, although I do it anyway because it's a force of a lifetime habit. And
of course, because of the heat, if you're going to go walking, you have to do it at night.
Oh my gosh. And it was 100 degrees when I left tonight. And that's the hottest it's been on any of these walks. And it was extremely humid. And I came back, you know, a few weeks ago on my first walk, I came back and Nick was like, I have never seen you look that red and sweaty. And I get red and sweaty. That's just like my skin. But I was like, wow, in 12 years, this is the most red and sweaty you've seen me. That is saying something. But I'm doing this every week, and not every week is the same level of heat. This week was extra. So I was back at it.
But I will say, I mean, I don't think you looked as bedraggled after today than you did that first time.
I think
so.
That,
I think your body is showing
I think it's
signs
acclimating.
of acclimation.
I did look just as red and sweaty, just not as bedraggled, I would say. Yeah, because I've gotten more used to it. It's still like, I did have to stop and drink my water today, but like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And anyway, so that's my excellent. Walking in the dark at night as a woman is liberating. Your excellent?
Okay, so my excellent is very much kind of about what's happening right now, and that's getting the podcast up and running.
Woo, woo, woo.
We are officially up on the various services. It was always a situation where it was all, if we got our act together, we would podcast our experience.
Yeah.
And there was no guarantee that we were going to get our act together.
That's
I mean,
right.
I would say that before we left, we were quite far from having our act together. Even though we did get a couple of episodes recorded, it really was on the fly.
And it really took some concerted effort. We were tired. It was hard to do.
And then, we don't know anything about putting a podcast together or the process of getting it to a place where people can actually hear it.
Yeah, we need...
So it took some work figuring out exactly what is the process of being able to get your podcast into the various services.
I mean, as you can tell, we are not professional. We're doing this on GarageBand. We're doing minimal editing, meaning I'm doing 0 and Nick is doing some. And we don't have mics. We don't have a tripod for our Instagram. Like, these are things that we need to hopefully over time get and make this more professional. But we were like, let's just get it. Let's just put it out there. Let's just do it.
So my excellent is the fact that you all can hear these now.
Yeah.
And we're thrilled about that.
And Nick did all the heavy lifting. He figured it out. Spotify will post podcasts for free. And we used my free Spotify account to do it. We don't even pay for Spotify. Thanks, Spotify, for the free podcast hosting. And they'll put it on to all the other platforms. So it's done. We're thrilled.
Yeah, and hopefully you are listening now on one of the various, whether it's Apple or Amazon or Spotify or wherever. Hopefully you are listening on one of those.
Yeah, I do Apple personally.
Okay.
Although I have not listened to our podcast.
So there's our excellence for the week. Let's move on to the boguses.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I did the first excellent too. So the bogus is going to end soon, but since we've moved here, I haven't had a single smoothie. We haven't had a blender. For those of you who know, I really loved my Vitamix. I got it refurbished years ago, but I used it pretty religiously for years and years and years. And then I left it with my mother. You're welcome, Mom. Because it's such a freaking good blender. And for people who don't know why a Vitamix is better than anything else, you can grind up flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and feel none of them in your smoothie, okay? I don't think there's another blender that does that, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I haven't had a Vitamix or any blender, and I have been really feeling the lack of produce, because that was usually my breakfast. I would drink it on the way to work because I had a 30-minute commute. Now I do not have that commute, but I could still be drinking it at work. And so not enough produce for the last month. Oh, also I should say, I make a large quantity of smoothies, so mine will last me 2 days. I know that's gross to some people, but it was fine for me. And I also would make them enough for T and Nick to have at least one each. So everybody's getting extra produce out of my smoothie making, and other such things. We throw the spinach in there, the yogurt, all the things. And so today I bit the bullet, and I got a NutriBullet. It is not a Vitamix, obviously, and I haven't washed it yet, and our frozen fruit comes tomorrow, but I got a NutriBullet. It's the next best one, I would say. And Vitamixes, although they have them here, they're not prevalent the way they are at home, and they are so crazy expensive, just like they are at home, that I was like, okay, well, this NutriBullet is on sale, and I'm going to buy it. I went through, I looked at reviews, I went through different things at Lulu's hypermarket, and then I ultimately was like, just get it. It's cheaper than the used Vitamix I was going to buy from somebody. And here we have it. NutriBullet in the house.
Okay, so a bogus that will very soon be turning into an excellent.
Exactly.
All right, as for my bogus of the week, so we are almost 4 weeks into being in this apartment, and we still only have one key.
They did give us another key a week and a half ago or a week ago, but when people were back from, I guess it was, a little over a week ago, when the former tenant returned to Dubai from their vacation, but they gave them the wrong keys, or somehow it got mixed up. Anyway, it didn't work on our door. So they're supposed to be getting new keys made through, the school handles it with the apartment complex, and it just hasn't happened yet. So that's a bummer.
Well, I mean, the main thing is that, with just the one key, boy, does that limit what we can do separately.
Yeah.
One of us has to be here, basically, to let the other people in.
Yeah, so
when they're done.
Right.
Like, for example, for you guys to be able to come home from school, I have to be here or else leave the door unlocked.
And even though people tell me they leave the door unlocked all the time in Dubai, we're still stateside people in our hearts, and it's really hard to do that.
I mean, we know this is true.
Yeah.
We were at a park last week.
Yeah.
And there was a car parked in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That was the same as ours, and
then I opened their door, and then I was like, "That's not our car," and I shut it. But yeah, it is a thing here. People feel very safe. They leave their cars, they leave their purses, their wallets, their cell phones sitting on the car, and that's just like a normal thing. And that's amazing that you can be that trusting here. It's hard to get used to.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
No.
So it would be very nice to get that second key so that I feel like I can actually go somewhere and not have to worry about making it back in time to make sure you guys can get in the door.
I'll ask them about it again this week. I feel bad because they're completely overwhelmed with so many requests, and there are 50 new employees living in housing, or they're not all everybody's getting something. Yeah. Anyway, they tried and then it didn't work, and now they need to try again. So, the end.
Well, we'll get there eventually.
Yep, we will. So that's the story for tonight, or for this last week, really. Stay tuned. We don't know what's next.
Yeah. Anyway, until next time, be excellent to each other.
Ooh, we should start ending that way.